everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Rose and you're watching Home with Hannah. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about how to stay motivated to achieve our goals. I feel like it's so difficult because it's easy for us to write down our goals, but it's harder to stay motivated in achieving them. So I wanted to share with you some ways that work for me, that keep me motivated in achieving the goals that I set out at the beginning of the year. So just to start, I wanted to have a little chat just to remind you that it's important to recharge. When it comes to motivation, it's so important to take some days off. So for me, I usually spend Sundays relaxing and recharging my batteries so that I can have a really productive week ahead and be motivated to go after my goals. For instance, this past Monday, usually I'd film on a Monday now that I've started YouTube because I work Tuesday through to Saturday, but my boyfriend had booked the day off work so that he could be with me, and he booked us a spa day. Something like that is really nice just to renew your spirit. So I also wanted to remind you that it's never too late to start. You know, I always write down my goals at the beginning of the year and then I work toward them throughout the year. But you can start now, and now is better than never, because now is better than saying, I'll start Monday, I'll start next month, or whatever. Start now. If you have goals that you're really wanting to achieve this year, you're never too late to start. And also, you're never too old. So if you're watching this, there might be a course that you've been really wanting to take, or you want to kickstart a brand new career and you're afraid because you're like, I'm a lot older and it might be more difficult. No, you're never too old. Some of the most successful people became really successful in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, like famous actors, actresses, famous founders of these amazing worldwide companies. They were in their late 50s when they started and when they became famous, okay? So just remind yourself that age doesn't matter and it's never too late. Every day is a new day. There's one quote that really stands out to me, and it links well with what I was just talking about, and that is, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And I feel like that is such an important quote to keep in your mind, especially when it comes to starting something new, such as a new job or a new business, or you're starting a new hobby. You know, even if you just like, oh, I've always wanted to go to that fitness class, but you're too afraid, so one of your goals is to actually go and make a start. You're never too late to start, and you don't have to be great to start. Don't be afraid like, oh, I've never done that before. You have to start, and everybody starts somewhere. When you were a lot younger and you were in school, and if you look back to your first English lesson, we weren't all good readers to start with. We had to start to get great at reading. We had to practice. Practice is going to make you better, and we all have to start somewhere, so why not start now? Before I go into the main things that really keep me motivated in achieving my goals, I just wanted you to ask yourself, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? In 5 years' time, what does your ideal life look like? Now, this is something that works for me. I like to have kind of like a 5-year plan just to get me on the right path towards reaching those goals. When you visualize your future, it helps you work towards that, and it gives you that push and that boost of motivation to keep going. I believe that every action that you take every single day leads you to your future, and that can be good or bad. So if you're taking bad steps every single day, it's only going to lead you to a future that you might not be proud of. So take positive steps, take positive actions every single day, and that's going to lead you to the future that you want and you dream of. Right, so moving on to the first way that I feel really keeps you motivated to achieve your goals, and I feel like is the most important tip to take away from this video, is to ask yourself, why? Why do I want to achieve these goals? Okay, with each goal that you have, what is your why? Once you have an emotional attachment to that goal or your goals for the year, you are going to be so much more likely to go out and be motivated to do things to achieve that, okay? I feel like if you just write down your goals and you actually don't have any emotional attachment to it, you're not going to have that drive, that passion to go out there and really work hard to achieve it. So know your why and remind yourself this daily. Moving on to my second tip, and that is to practice gratitude. Now, I'm a big believer in gratitude because it's something that I talked about in my mindfulness video, which I'll link below. I feel like gratitude is going to be your superpower. So practice gratitude every single day. I have a challenge for you. For the next 21 days, wake up in the morning, get yourself a notebook, and just write down 3 things that you're grateful for every morning for the next 21 days. And the reason I say 21 days is because I think to build a habit, it takes at least 21 days to actually create that habit. So if you practice gratitude, and it's going to take you no more than a couple minutes in the morning to think and write down just 3 simple things that you're grateful for. And that is going to set your day up for success. And when we're talking about motivation, we need to remember that mindset is everything. So when it comes to gratitude, it changes our mind in looking at things with a positive outlook. If you write down 3 things that you're grateful for in the morning, you will find, and I find this, that it boosts my energy and my mood for the day. And that is what's going to give me the motivation to keep going throughout the day, take positive actions, and work towards my goals. Moving on, the next thing that I really feel keeps us motivated is if you listen to your hearts, okay? So I want you to live by your own rules and listen to your heart. And the reason I say this is because we all have different goals. We're all unique. My goals are going to be different to your goals. When you listen to your heart and you know exactly what you want to achieve, you're going to have passion. So listening to your heart equals passion. And when you're passionate, you are more motivated. You'll know a few people that might pop up in your head that are very passionate about what they do. And that passion doesn't come across as arrogance or anything. It's just they're full of joy and they're happy and they love doing what they're doing. And they're successful because they're doing what they love to do. So when you follow your heart and you make your own rules for your life, you will be more passionate and you will have more drive to be motivated to do what it is you want to achieve. I feel like with social media nowadays, we're scrolling through things like Instagram and we are falling into the trap of comparing ourselves to other people's lives. Now on Instagram, people are going to edit their photos and they're going to have sponsored content and all of this stuff that makes their life look so much more glamorous, okay? Use Instagram and stuff for inspiration for your goals, but don't use it to make you feel bad because everybody's timeline is different. Everyone's version of success is different. Everyone's going to be successful at different stages of their lives. We're all unique. We're all different. So go after what you feel in your heart you want to achieve and have passion, and that will keep you motivated. The next way to stay motivated is to trust yourself and the process. Now, this is kind of like law of attraction, and I like law of attraction. I think it really does work. Once you put your mind to something, you truly believe in the process of it, and you really believe in it, and you think positive thoughts and all of this, it leads to success, and it leads you to manifesting the thing that you really want in your life. But yeah, so going back to my tip, I want you to trust the process because sometimes one goal might take a lot longer than the rest of your goals. And don't let that set you back. For example, if you have a goal, like myself, to lose weight this year, I want to lose a little bit of weight so that I can feel the best version of myself. So that's a difficult one because, you know, you do one workout and you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh, do I look thinner yet? And typical, you do an ab workout and then you look in the mirror at your abs and you're like, where's my six pack? you need to trust the process. It might take longer, but keep going, and that's the important thing. Do not give up. Don't say, right, I've done this diet for 2 weeks, it's not worked, so I'm just gonna go back to eating junk food. No, trust yourself, trust the process. It will happen for you. You will be successful. You've just got to keep motivated. And just believing in yourself and knowing that you put trust in the process, that allows you to stay motivated, because if you really do believe in it, you will stay motivated to achieve it. Know that everything is happening for you, and I'm a really big believer in that everything happens for a reason. So even something that might be a setback for you, or you might fail at first, don't go, why me? I think we say this way too often. I've done this before, and I say, oh, why does this have to happen to me? I want you to change your outlook. And one way to do that was by practicing gratitude. If you change your outlook and you say, instead of saying, why me, you can say, what can I learn from this? Yeah, it's not that great that this has happened, but at least I've learned something from this, and I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna keep going, and use that situation as a drive for motivation. Right, so the next way that you can stay motivated to achieve your goals is through giving your full attention to those goals. And what I mean by this is not just writing down your goals once a year, losing the piece of paper and forgetting about it and hoping that you're achieving your goals. You've really got to give your attention to these goals. And one way that I do this is, yes, I write down my goals at the beginning of the year, but then I write them down throughout the year as well. And I really believe in putting pen to paper, writing down your goals. I mean, what might work for you is writing them down on your phone, but my advice is to actually get a notebook. I love stationery, so I love doing this, but writing them down nicely on a nice piece of paper or in your notebook, and this really helps to keep me motivated. So instead of just writing down these big goals, and sometimes they're a bit scary, we need to know how can we achieve those goals. So we need to break them down into bite-sized amounts. We want to take one step at a time. So what I do is I have a planner. I'll just show you. So I've got my planner here. And what I do in this planner is, I'll just show you an example of a month. So this would be August. And in here, I would write down on this page, I've got a blank page, so I've got a good planner because it's got a blank page at the beginning of every month. And what I do is I will write down my goals for the month. So every month, I write down my goals. And then at the end of the month, I will review my goals. So at the end of the month, it's really good. There's a page at the end of the month as well where I can write down my thoughts and a review on the goals that I've tried to achieve that month, and look back and see what have I achieved, what haven't I achieved, and that works for me. That keeps me accountable. So giving my attention to my goals means holding myself accountable for them. And what I really like to do is I like to do that, and I like to write a list with check boxes, and I tick them off as I've achieved them. And that list of goals that's at the beginning of every month relates to my main goals for the year. So if I've said I want to read more books this year, I'll make sure as one of my goals for the month is to read 1 to 2 books. And if I'm able to tick that off, I feel like I've accomplished something, which gives me the motivation. So giving your full attention to the goals is going to give you that motivation to keep going, to keep achieving them. And if you are reflecting on your goals, you are going to be more likely to stay motivated. And then one way to give your attention to them on a daily basis is when I plan my week. So in my planner, I'll plan my week on a Friday or a Sunday, and I will plan things like my cleaning routine, my food menu for the week, my food shop. I'll plan what I want to achieve that week in work or whatever it is, my YouTube videos that I want to film and upload. I will write these down, and these are like little goals that I have for the week, and I'll write lists so that I can tick them off. And then what I'll do is once a week, I'll look back at my monthly goals and I'll see, have I achieved anything? Can I tick anything off? Or what can I do this week to make sure that I'm achieving what I want to achieve? Okay, so that's one way to really give your full attention to them, is to write them down monthly, review them monthly, and look at them weekly, so that every day you're doing something, you're taking one little step towards achieving that. It's like if you plant a flower. If you put a seed in soil and leave it and not nurture it, not water it, it's not going to grow. Okay? It's the same as writing your goals down at the beginning of the year. You can't just write them down and do nothing. You need to give those goals attention. You need to give that seed attention in order for it to grow. And all year long, you're going to have to nurture those goals in order for them to blossom into success that you wanted to achieve that year. And this leads me to my next tip, and that is to create a plan of action. As I've said before in this video, I want you to take positive action every day. And with that, we need motivation. So one way to get motivated is to create a plan of action. For example, if I want to lose weight, like I said before, I will create myself a 4-week plan of action to achieve that. So I will write down, okay, what workouts am I going to do for the next 4 weeks? And I will make sure I have some rest days so I don't get demotivated. I will make sure I'm thinking about what food I'm going to be eating and all of that. And I've created myself a plan, and now I'm motivated because I want to be able to tick off all of those workouts and say I did it, right? And then I will keep myself motivated by measuring my success. So I'll weigh myself on the first day, and I'll measure and weigh myself on the last day. And that will just keep me motivated. One of my last tips to stay motivated is to visualize. And one way that you can do this is by creating a vision board. At the beginning of the year, I took my goals and I created a vision board full of pictures that related to those goals that I had set out to achieve that year. I put it on my desk. Now, you can't see it in the background right now, but I do have it on my desk so that I'm looking at it daily. And this is a great way for you to really give your attention to your goals, because if you create a vision board, and some people like doing it on their phone, so it's like saved as their screensaver, I mean, then you're really looking at it every day. I personally like to create one on paper because that's what I love to do. I like taking some glue and sticking them on and creating my own collage of goals. And it's something that then you're visualizing those goals, and it's easier for you to see yourself actually being successful in achieving them. So use a vision board and also visualize your goals. And when you visualize, what feelings does that bring? And that is your driving force to motivation. So my last tip that can really get you motivated is to get inspired. And when I mean get inspired, I mean a range of different things. I mean get inspired through looking at the people that you look up to. So you might have different role models. They might be famous people, or they might be people in your life that you look up to. Take inspiration from them. And not in a negative way, not in a comparison way, in a way that you go, right, that person's so successful, I admire them so much. What do they do in their everyday life that makes them that successful? What are their daily habits, you know? And take that as motivation to get inspired to really go after what you want to go after. Another way that really gets me inspired is reading books. I love reading self-development, self-help books, as well as biographies of the people that I look up to. So read some books. Always learn and always be willing to grow, and that's going to keep you motivated. Another idea for you to get inspired is listen to a podcast. On my way home from work, I will put a podcast on and I will listen to it. One of my favorite ones, I listen to them on Spotify, and my favorite podcast is Oprah's Super Soul Conversations. I love them. I could re-listen to them, but there's that many on there that you can listen to a new one every day. But every day when I'm coming home from work, I will listen to it. And it might only be for 5, 10, 15 minutes, but it gives me that little boost of inspiration before I get home that puts me in a good mood and a good mindset. And like I said before, mindset is everything. So do things that really get you in that right mind space that keeps you motivated. And listening to a podcast is a great way to stay motivated when you're listening to people that have already had so much success in their life, and you're like, wow, they've accomplished so much, and I really want to do that too. So try listening to a podcast, try reading a motivational book or a book that really speaks to you that you really want to read, and let it motivate you. Get inspired by other people. Do something that you love to do. That will give you motivation. It will give you the passion to go after your goals and stay motivated. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are now motivated to go after your goals for 2019. Remember that you can start at any time, because I know this video is going out 3 months into the year, but you can start at any time and any age. And remember, if I could have you take anything away from this video, I want you to remember your why. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a beautiful day.